Hello, I'm Temilola Adepeton, the Managing Director and Founder of SKLD Integrated Services Limited. We were formerly known as School Kids. Today, I'd like to share a bit about how we scaled up over the years. It's a journey of discovering a niche area in the first instance, operating in that area, expanding, in the next 2, 3, 4 years. We consolidated on the expansion, so we opened our second branch 2 years after we started the first one. We consolidated, and then people started asking us about wholesale orders. We were basically a retail store in the first instance. So we saw that as an opportunity that to enlarge, to increase our market size. And we did our research and took advantage of that opportunity, and we started the wholesale arm of our business. And that was about 5 years after we started. So I'd encourage you, sometimes people will suggest things to you and you just think, oh, that's not my business. That's not part of my business. But when you have repeated questions or repeated inquiries about that, that particular aspect of your business, I would urge you to look into it and see whether you can add it on. And that's how we grew. So we continued like that and consolidated it. And in the meantime, I was just working out of our retail offices. Then I realized that, hey, you need a proper structure to be able to run a wholesale. You need to have a place where your marketers sit. You need to have an accountant, an in-house accountant. You need to have an admin person, and you need to have a purchaser. So after about 10 years, this was after opening 3 branches, 3 stores, and working out of the shops and moving from one location to another in a day, we now opened our first head office in Yaba back then. That was 2010, and it was 100 square meter space. But there we were able to start building our structure, in the sense that we had some storage, so we could monitor the rest of our inventory. We had an accountant in-house, so we had someone that was looking into our books every day and monitoring the petty cash, monitoring the bank transactions, and it was more stable for me as well. Then the wholesale team were able to have meetings to consolidate, so we grew that. And from there, we started, it was not about even going to establish another office somewhere else. We now started by asking the wholesale team to go out to travel to other parts of Nigeria to be able to get customers. And they did, and it was successful. So we grew our wholesale not only from within Lagos with other states, and then from referrals. And when people refer other customers to you, it's important for you to take note and then make sure. But one of the things I also know kept us going is that I in particular, my attention to detail is on a very high level. My quest for excellence, I believe that anything you touch, you should excel in it. I made sure that everything we did, our quality was guaranteed, and if there were any problems, we fixed it. If there were any complaints, we fixed it. Maybe give a discount or give, we take returns and substitute and so on and so forth. And fast forward, at some point, I realized that I couldn't, with business in Nigeria, sometimes we are open to fraud. Yes, I did have a big case of fraud, and I'll never forget, that's 2012. And of course, this was after the structure was put in place. So it doesn't mean that even if you have structure in place, that it's danger-proof or it's fraud-proof. It's not. People will still try, and human beings are human beings. So anyway, after that, I realized that I needed much more structure, like internal control. The accountant wasn't enough, and so on and so forth. And I also knew that I needed external expertise to build this. So that's when we called in a strategy consultant to come in, evaluate everything we have. And that's the point where I admitted to myself that as an individual, I did not have the capability to make all the final decisions for the business. The business had grown. So as an entrepreneur, even when you're in your career, you also need to be able to admit to yourself, these new responsibilities I've been given, do I have the capability? Do I need to go back to school? Do I need to learn more? As an entrepreneur, look at it. What additional skill do I need to acquire? whether by myself or who else do I need to bring in into the business? And these are questions we need to ask ourselves all the time, and that's what we did. And we restructured, and in 2013 we had a much more solid base. And of course, that was when our COO came in. He's now he's the current deputy managing director, and he started making a lot of changes. He's dynamic. And I've spoken about this before. Inclusion, because you are the founder, does not mean that you are the one that dictates everything. It's not about instructions. We made decisions together, and then the team grew larger. We did it organically, but there was always inclusion in decision making, with retreats, with management meetings, with management performance reviews, and so on and so forth. And that's how come we've been able to stand today, because it does not, the decision making and knowledge, experience does not reside in one or two people. It resides in a group of people. And of course, teamwork and collaboration is a winner any day, anytime.